Yo, what up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the SATS Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Welcome. And today we're going to be talking about how traditional retirement options are a scam. Now, I said it. Are they a scam? And we're going to talk about that a little bit today during the Why We Stack segment. But first, shout out and round of applause from the live studio audience for Leonard. What up, Leonard? You. Man. I've been watching a lot of videos on how retirement works, 401ks, stocks, bonds, all that stuff. And geez, man, all that stuff is disappointing, right? We'll talk about that during the Why We Stack segment. Okay, guys, I don't want to get ahead of myself and talk about it too soon. All right, so first order of business when we start the SATS Show is to check into the SATS strength. All right, there it is. Today, the price of Bitcoin is down to $39,889. It's below 40,000. It's a deal. It's still a deal. Okay, today you're going to be able to get 2,507 Satoshis for a single dollar. What is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like a dollar has 100 cents. A Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis. So you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin all at once. You can start buying it in little increments called Satoshis. All right. Let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business. You look down and see a penny. You pick it up, and all the day you'll have good luck and 25 Satoshis. Not bad, not bad. All right. That's what we got for the SAT strength. Hope everybody's having a good day. I didn't realize, guys, yesterday was Wednesday, and I called the episode Stacko Tuesday, and nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. I didn't realize it was Wednesday. I mean, I knew it was Wednesday, but I didn't really realize it was Wednesday until I started making the thumbnail for today, and I was like, wait a minute. Today is Thursday. That means yesterday was Wednesday. Oh my gosh. I was busy yesterday. But anyway, that's what we have for the SAT strength. Let's get into the next episode. Sorry, not the next episode, the next segment, which we like to call Why We Stack. And now we're going to talk about the stuff that's going on in the world. Okay? Why I think that the traditional retirement options are a scam, and they are, right? So what's the first thing they tell you when they go to sell you on retiring with a 401k or whatever mechanism that they're going to push to you at work or whatever? They say, hey, if you start early, the compound effect will make it to where you can start in your 20s and just set aside some money, and by the time you're ready to retire, you're going to retire with like over $1 million, right? Or something like that. Something similar to that. And so it's kind of true, right? The compound effect is true. The longer you save something, if the percentage you're getting is going up, if the percentage you're getting stays true and it is beating inflation, then you are getting more returns the longer you hold it, right? Because it just compounds, okay? Well, but what they forget to tell you, what they conveniently neglect to tell you, is that their 1 or 2% fee also compounds through the lifespan of that holdings, right? To the point that if you are saving and your retirement money in your 401k or whatever vessel is appreciating at 7%, well, if it's at 2, if their fees are 2%, then by the time you're ready to retire, the people that are managing your money end up getting about 2/3 to your 1/3 of the compounded money that you saved. So yes, compounding interest does work, but so does compounding fees, negative fees, right? So in the end, you think you have so much money to retire on, And you factor in all of that, and you end up getting just about a third of your actual savings, right? Not to mention whatever other fees are included and whatever taxes you got to pay on that, right? If you didn't do it the right way. So, all of that to say that the management fees, the trading fee, not the trading fees, the management fees, the portfolio, whatever portfolio management fees that a retirement firm would charge you for, or like even your 401k management fees and costs of running that fund or whatever, they get passed on to the individual saver. You don't have to pay those things in Bitcoin, right? The gains that you make in Bitcoin are yours, right? The gains that you make in Bitcoin are yours, and you don't have to worry about their fees taking up to 2/3 of your savings down the road. It's crazy. It's crazy. You look at it, and people don't realize that until they're later in life, and it's too late to go back and look at different ways to alternatives to saving money, right? Now, this documentary specifically that I was watching, it was called The Retirement Gamble. The Retirement Gamble. It's a documentary that came out about 2 years ago, and it's called where is it? It's on Frontline, which is the PBS show, right? It's on Frontline. And it kind of just walks you through the whole business of basically stealing from people, right? And how these like financial advisors and all that stuff, that's not really like even a real title, right? And most of them are not even incentivized to help you. They're incentivized to charge you fees and for them to make money, right? So it's pretty wild. And it's just a whole industry. There's it's like a ton of marketing and I guess promotion that goes into influencing you to giving them your money, letting them manage it for you for a fee, of course, right? And so you end up losing out in the long run, right? So probably the best way to do what you need to do, which is to save, is to just save in Bitcoin, like we've been talking here since the beginning of the show. Save in Bitcoin. There are no management fees, no trading fees once you go into Bitcoin, and you just hold it. You don't have to pay anybody per quarter, per month, per year to basically manage your account, right? You don't need to, because you'll be your own bank. You'll have your own coin, and at that point, you don't need anybody to do anything for you, right? And therefore, there's no management fees associated with it. So you're basically your value isn't leaking, right? Your value isn't leaking your value isn't leaking. A little at the beginning and then a lot at the end with the effects of the compound effect, right? Because that's a big deal right there, is that the compound effect isn't only a positive for growing your account, but it's also a negative in that the fees to manage that amount of money also go up with the compound effect. It's a really cool video. I wish I should have queued it up to that section where it covers like where it shows a bar chart of the money actually. Oh, here it is. I think it might be here. Of the money. Oh, here it is. Oh, I found it. Oh my God, I can't believe I just scrubbed through there and found it. There we go. Let's watch this real quick. I'm gonna put it up here. Give me a second. Let's see if this plays. Full screen. And then browser. Is it browser? No, it's screen. What screen? Is it gonna work? Oh yeah, it's gonna work. Here we go. Let's watch this.
Assume you're invested in a fund that is earning a gross annual return of 7%. They charge you a 2% annual fee. Over 50 years, the difference between your net of 5%, the red line, and what you would have made without fees, the green line, is staggering. Bogle says you've lost almost 2/3 of what you would have had.
What happens in the fund business is the magic of compound returns, is overwhelmed by the tyranny of compounding costs.
Boom, just like that. We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. Crazy, right? Crazy. And this is the kind of things these are the things that the financial advisors of today, say you're at work and they're trying to get you signed up for the works 401k. You think you're getting benefits. In a way, you are kind of, if your employer is matching your contribution. But even then, that effect is still going to happen to whatever money you've set aside. You're still going to get, they're going to get the bulk of the money, right? And you're going to get not as much as you think you're going to get, right? Because, just because of the way that the math works out. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way it is, right? Until now, right? You can choose to not contribute to your 401k and just take that money that you were going to contribute to your 401k and just put it into, save it into Bitcoin, right? Save it into Bitcoin. And then now, if you ever do need that money early before you retire, then you can just take it out and use it, right? Or you can take loans against it, right? There's way less limitations on how to use it than if you were to put it into like a 401k, right? That money's pretty much locked up. And the worst part of that is that sometimes you might not even get to decide what that money gets invested into, right? So it kind of perpetuates perpetuates those zombie companies out there where a company gets involved in or gets added to an ETF or pretty much a fund that contains that company and other companies, and maybe some of those companies in that ETF are not the best companies, but they're in there with the best companies. And so since you're contributing to that whole fund, you're kind of helping the companies that are not really doing good business stay afloat. And if it weren't for those types of investment options, those companies probably wouldn't even exist because their business practices are not even good. They're not even operating in profit. They're operating in deficit, kind of like only alive because of cheap loans and because people are kind of investing in them indirectly by not being able to pick their own stocks, right? So just avoid all that whole nonsense and just save in Bitcoin. Okay, it's the best place to invest and with the least potential leaks. Okay, all right. Whoa, we're gonna go with that. I don't know what just happened, but my face got really bright. Let me tweak this a little bit. Yowza. There we go. All right, cool. Okay. Another thing I wanted to share today was this cool video by Bit Intelligence. They're doing a 3-part series. This one I think just came out. It just came out about 3 hours ago. It's called The Legendary Treasure of Satoshi Nakamoto. It looks, I started watching it before the show started, and it is a cool video. It's like AI generated imagery and a cool narration, and it's kind of give you a good explanation of the beginnings of how Bitcoin came about. So it's a good little video to watch if you're kind of confused or if somebody's trying to understand the origins of Bitcoin in a entertaining way. Okay. All right. So with that said, let's jump into the next segment of the show, which we like to call the Stack Recap, because we don't only talk about buying Bitcoin, we stack Bitcoin all the time, Monday through Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, and we're here stacking SATS every day. I need to log back into my Swan account apparently, so it's gonna be one of those days. Log in. And we will get this. Let's log in and we'll get these sats stacked. Let's see. There we go. Ooh. Go. Let's see if I can beat the time. Let's see if I can beat the music. I think I beat it. Yes, got him. All right, so as you guys know, I like to buy Bitcoin over at Swan Bitcoin. I'm gonna jump into that right now. Let's go into the SAT recap and see what our current holdings are for the show, and see what today's buy is going to be. If it's going to be a single stack, a double stack, or a quadruple stack. Let's see. The price of Bitcoin today is $39,719, and our current average. Wait, what is that right? Average buy price is 32,000. Oh, that's for the full. That's for the cumulative. I was like, wow. Here we go. Okay. Average buy price is 43,425, and the current price of Bitcoin is 39,719. 39,000. Okay, it's not the lowest we bought in 2024, but it is lower than our average buy price. So today, based on our setup, we're gonna do a double stack, a double with cheese, baby. Double with cheese. Here we go. Double stack today. So let's jump into the final segment of the show. Now that we know how much we're gonna buy, let's do this. It's time to stack some SATS. All right, I get on over to Swan. Go in there, set up for $80. What up, Andrew? Welcome to the stream. Shout out, round of applause for Proxer, Leonard, and Andrew. All right, whoops, where is it? There it is. All right, so today we're gonna stack $80. No, not $80. Sorry, $20. Whoa there. No, $40. $40. It's a double stack today because the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price of 42. All right, that said, let me get a screenshot for here. Boom. Screenshot. Let's get this over to the notes. Episode 47. Andrew, why didn't you tell me yesterday was not Tuesday when I said Stacko Tuesday? It was Wednesday. Nobody said anything. All right, here we go. $40 worth of Bitcoin. Stacking that right now. Here we go. Drum roll, please. Boom. And just like that, we've accumulated more Satoshis for the bag. And now we do what we need to do, which is chill. You stack, you take soft custody of your coins, and you chill. Okay? Oh, actually, let's go update the spreadsheet. For today's buy, came in at 39,000. Let's go. Some delicious, nutritious, below 40K SATS. $40 worth. And that got us 0.00099,537 Bitcoin, which translates to $99,537 Satoshis, for a grand total of 2 million SATS in 2024. Just like that, slow and steady, we're already at 0.02 Bitcoin, 2 million Satoshis in 2024. If you're learning about saving in Bitcoin, it's your first time, it can be done slow and steady, okay? But I would still recommend trying to get to 1 Bitcoin as soon as possible. But if you can't, you can still do it slow and steady. We've been doing it slow and steady, keeping it going, right? In 2024, we're already at 0.02 Bitcoin. Yes, it probably would have been better if I was able to buy it all today because it's cheaper. But in the long term, it averages out to where it makes more sense to just buy a little bit at a time for a longer time. Okay, here's the status of our overall holdings for the show. our show bag, our show Bitcoin stash. I'm gonna add this last purchase to this stash as well, so it's all synced up. All together for the show, we have a grand total of $13 million Satoshis since the beginning of the show. The show now has 0.13 Bitcoin. Okay? You might be thinking 0.13 Bitcoin, that's nothing. Or you might be thinking 0.13 Bitcoin, that's a ton. Either way, at this point, the show stack is holding more Bitcoin than most people in the entire world. And someday, as the price of Bitcoin goes up, this would be one of the most profitable endeavors. This could be one of the most profitable endeavors, one of the most profitable streams that there ever was, just based on our holdings already, right? It's pretty crazy, right? And you don't have to set up a YouTube channel or YouTube video or a series to do this. You could do this all on your own, in the safety of being anonymous, and stack the same way we've been stacking on the show, right? If you can get to 0.1 Bitcoin, you're a lot better off than being at zero, right? If you get to 0.01 Bitcoin, you're a lot better off than being at zero, right? Anything is better than zero, right? But the closer you are to one whole Bitcoin, the better. And once you get to 1 Bitcoin, just keep going, right? It's only going to keep going up. And the more Bitcoin you're holding, when it does go crazy and pump like maniacs, then the sooner you'll be able to retire. And all of these traditional retirement options are just a scam anyway. So this is probably the best way to get ahead. And if you haven't been saving for retirement, right, and you haven't been subject to all the losses through fees and stuff, then maybe you made out, but you don't have any savings that you can consider towards retirement. Well, no matter what age you're at, if you start saving in Bitcoin, it's better than saving in anything else, especially later especially if you're already closer to retirement, right? So anyway, that is what we talk about here on the show. That is the Stack Chat Show. And let's jump into what we like to call the Q&A section. So if anybody has any questions, put it in the chat. Otherwise, we might have to wrap this show in the next, 6 minutes. Oof. Oh. Feeling sore. I did a lot of jiu-jitsu this week. And I have one more class on Friday. So super stoked. I'm feeling strong actually, guys. Don't get me wrong, I'm old. I feel beat down. I feel tired. I feel sore, but I feel stronger in a way. I still feel stronger. Did a lot of crazy exercises yesterday. But it's pretty good. I'm still stacking jiu-jitsu classes. Still stacking SATS, And I'm actually thinking about really going hard on changing up my diet. So I'm thinking about once again getting on that keto diet train, which means no sugar, no bread, no crazy saturated oils like canola oil, soy oil, soybean stuff, all organic. I think I'm gonna go for it again because I feel that my body's getting stronger with all this jiu-jitsu, and I gotta think about ways to cut some fat out of my diet, cut some of the stuff that has potential to give me diabetes in the future. I need to stack some fish as Proxer. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I know. Me too. Oh, I got an update for you guys. Two updates. Here we go. Browser. Let's go here to the SAT ETS, the bread. I have an announcement to make. Mr. Android in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience, Mr. Android. Roman, don't need to go into details, but what do you do for fiat mining? I work in a in the technical industry, doing I would say like network security, VPNs, that kind of stuff. All work that I can do remotely, and it pays decent, and that's how I get my primary stacking funds, besides selling things. But yeah, so I have basically a 9 to 5 job, and then I take my lunch breaks to do the show. So that's what it is, and well worth it, because I see people starting to get into it, starting to understand it. People that I know for a fact were not into Bitcoin before this show. Friends, acquaintances, people I've met through some of my other content production, see the show and start to understand it and get into it. And for me, that's like amazing, because I know that down the road, what we started today, or what we started on the show, could be life-changing for somebody, right? And not just for somebody, but for that person's whole family, right? Once that person understands the value of buying and holding Bitcoin, it's natural for them to want to share that with the people they love. Yeah. So it's really cool. It's really cool. So today I noticed I bought bread a couple days ago, and it went up by $1. Can you believe that? The price of the bread that normally cost me $4.49 went up by a whole $1. And then, are any of your colleagues interested in Bitcoin? I don't know, Andrew. Like at work, I don't talk about it. Right? At work, I don't talk about it. But I don't even think most of them know I do this show. Right? I used to have a couple colleagues that I've orange pilled, like on the down low, but I don't really promote it too much at work. All right, so the price of bread did go up for me about $1, which spiked my SATS per loaf of bread up to 13,800 satoshis. I am paying more now than I was paying last couple of weeks, because the fiat price went up. But even with the whole dollar, even with a $1 increase in price for bread, I'm still paying less today in satoshis than I was in October. See? It's pretty dang awesome. Okay? But now I'm not going to get to that 4-digit satoshi bread price for a while, right? Well, who knows? But still, it's okay. Everything else stayed the same. My milk is still $6.99 and my burritos are still $13.70. So those, I'm still reaping the benefits of being almost half off on these products. So that is the update on the burrito index, and talking about how to get funding for your constant stacking, right? Yeah. So I list a bunch of stuff. I mean, I used to be a serial Amazon shopper, and I'm not gonna name anything. I'm not gonna make you guys feel bad if you have that current disease. But I used to buy stuff from Amazon all the time. It just feels good to click on something and then something shows up the next day or the next couple of days, right? And it got to the point where I'm like, damn, dude, I'm spending a lot of money on stuff I don't even use all that often. If I got into a hobby, I would go all in and just buy everything I would need for that hobby. And I realized after I started stacking sats, I realized like, hey, maybe those things aren't as important as stacking sats. So I took my habitual Amazon shopping, online shopping habits, and replaced them with habitual stacking, habitual nonstop Bitcoin stacking, to the point where I still wanted the to go through and shop for things. I would go through and fill up my Amazon cart with whatever stuff I thought I wanted. I would look at it and say, dang, that's like $100 pops right there. That's like $200 or $100, $50, whatever it is you're trying to buy. I would take that same amount of money and I would buy sats with it instead of hitting checkout on my cart. Because when I did that, that money basically was used, right? It was not in my account, and the stuff that I was gonna buy was probably gonna end up showing up to the house. I would use it a couple of times and then set it aside somewhere to take up space. Not saying I'm a hoarder or anything like that, but I realized that I was like, you know what? Why don't I just go ahead and buy Satoshis directly and skip the step of buying it, trying it out, reselling it for less than I paid for it, and then putting that money into Satoshis. So I cut that out. I only buy like the really true things that I need, and my stack is growing because of it. Right now, on top of that, I'm constantly auditing my house, right, and trying to sell as much stuff that I don't use, because again, it's Satoshi sitting there. Whenever you look at around your place and you see something sitting there that's been sitting there for months and you haven't even touched it, if there's dust on it, do you really even need it? Like, do you need it that often? Maybe. I don't know. But maybe not, right? Get rid of it. It's potential SATS sitting there that you don't have in your wallet and that won't appreciate when the price of Bitcoin goes up. Okay? So more SATS in the sack are better than more crap around your house. Okay? So I take my own medicine. I wanted to make sure I practice what I preach. So I've been selling a lot of stuff to the point where, like, man, I didn't realize how much stuff I had in my house, right? Yeah, now I'm a SATS hoarder. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm a SATS hoarder. But even though now I'm a SAT hoarder, I still have stuff that I don't know, for some, I guess it is hoarding, right? That hoarding feeling. Don't get me wrong, guys. My house is not like full of stuff. It's I just have a bunch of stuff that I would get into, like a hobby I would get into, and I would buy everything you need to do that hobby, right? And some of those hobbies I don't do anymore, so I'm just kind of getting rid of that equipment, those things that are required to do that hobby. Also, my kids are older, and some of the stuff that we needed for them as children, as little toddlers, is stuff we don't need anymore. So I got rid of most of that stuff already. But the reason I brought this whole thing up, because in a couple of episodes ago, or like in previous episodes, we talked about I told you guys I had a refrigerator, like a mini fridge, that was in my garage when we bought this house, right? The people that moved out left some random stuff, and one of the random things that left was a mini fridge in the garage. And like, it still works. Like the little freezer was freezing, and the little refrigerated area was great for like drinks, you know. But then I'm like, dude, and I was like, well, do I need that fridge? I know we never put stuff in there, you know. Like, it wasn't plugged in. I plugged it back in to see if it would work. It started working again. It got cold. It got freezing in the freezer. So I know it was good. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna list it on OfferUp, and that's one of the slowest things that has gotten the most missed hits on OfferUp. I think I got, like, I'm not kidding, like maybe like 13 people reached out about it and then kind of flaked, right? And then finally, I started with it at $75, and I lowered the price $5 every week, and at $40, it finally sold for $40. So that's $40 worth of Satoshis. That's like a double stack, dude. That's an extra double stack on a little mini fridge that I didn't even need, that I got for free. It's 100% profit, right? And if we look at today's stack, basically selling the little mini fridge paid for today's stack, right? So it almost got me 100,000 Satoshis, right? So that's pretty damn cool, right? So selling that little fridge for $40, like, once the price of Bitcoin starts going up, it's like I sold that fridge for $50 or $60, right? So just sell stuff and buy your sats, and you'll thank me for it later, okay? But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy the way it works. That's pretty crazy the way that works. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the SATS Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. If you have any questions and you're watching this replay, you can put your questions in the chat or in the comments. I will answer your question on tomorrow's episode. Okay? I still can't believe you guys let me do a whole show yesterday thinking it was Tuesday, thinking it was Stacko Tuesday when it was actually Stacko Wednesday. Oh my gosh. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys. Hold on. Where's this? Where's my ending song? I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the SATS Show, Stacko Friday. Because it's always Stacko someday. You can always have a stack someday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, remember that if you ain't stacking, you are slacking. All right. Night, guys. Later.